Hello and welcome to my side of everything _weird. Today I am making a Molten Freddy themed bottle. You might be wondering why. It's because every time I see these dang milk containers, I can't help but think of him. I should probably note that this is the Invisible Davis's Molten Freddy, not the canon Molten Freddy, because if you think it's the canon one, this is not going to make sense at all. Side note, I haven't been able to watch the Invisible Davis or the famous films in like a year, and every time I try to watch it, I get very emotional. No matter if it's sad or not, I just can't do it without taking like a 5-minute break every second, basically. I'm just applying a white base coat. I tried to just go into the sketching, but it wouldn't let me because this bottle does not want to pick up any graphite at all. Is it just me or does canon Molten Freddy never get any attention? I mean, I can understand because the only reason I like Molten Freddy is because of the Invisible Davis' Molten Freddy, but still, he always feels overlooked. I also go through this cycle of switching between different characters / shows to obsess over. If you couldn't tell, it's currently Molten Freddy. If you look at my TikTok, the last few gacha videos were just him in a random video based on an Irish song. I have these rainbow lights in my room and they currently spell out his name, and the reason because of that is that it reminds me of when Brian suggested painting Molten Freddy Rainbow after what happened with Happy Frog and Baby, painting him pink in season 1. Now we're getting into the actual painting process, which is my favorite part, and I haven't painted like this before. I'm just blocking out the colors and then I'm going to go in with outline and detail later, which I don't usually do. I usually save the detail for last, but I never make it to where the same colors are grouped next to each other, like this bow is, to where you cannot tell where it ends and you have to memorize it. So this was a new thing for me, but I think I did really well with it for my first try. Despite how the camera looks, this actually was very streaky and see-through, and it took a lot of layers to make it to where it was nice and built up and colorful. Is it just me, or do you guys think that the color pink follows him around? It reminds me of that one clip from Modern Family, I think was the name of the show. I'll play the clip if I can find it.
There's nothing gays hate more than when people treat us like women. We're not. We don't want to go to your baby shower. We don't have a time of the month. We don't love pink.
You love pink.
No, pink loves me.
That clip kind of just works too well to not use in this video. I'm starting to paint his eyes, which I forgot to sketch originally. I had to do it back off camera. So what's your reaction to seeing Molten's outfit for the park? Because just hearing about it, I was laughing. From what Molten described, I was just giggling like there was no tomorrow. Though I do see some flaws in it, because it was supposed to hide his scary factor. And to be honest, I think what would be the most scary would be his mask. Because his mask is destroyed, pretty much destroyed, and very broken. I feel like that would scare the kids more than his wires, because his wires can be used for fun if the kids were allowed to be around 6 feet of the animatronics. I could imagine having a system where Molten Freddy played games with them with the wires, hanging them upside down, because frankly, as an older sister, kids like being hanged upside down for short increments of time. Don't ask me why, I don't know, they just do. Or maybe my siblings are just menaces to society. That could be possible as well. I also know that children like being thrown, on soft things, because my baby sister loves being thrown on the couch. Back to pink following Molten Freddy around, I used to have a pastel pink bow, and I used to wear it religiously because it reminded me of Molten Freddy and made me feel safe and comfortable. It ended up breaking, and I almost started crying when it did. Oh, there's a little spot right there. I'm not exactly sure how it happened. All I know is just that it happened. I still have the bow, and I plan to fix it. I just don't know how to fix it. And yes, I just used my thumb to get paint off of where I didn't want it to be. I'm sorry if it doesn't sound like I know how to speak English. It's because in its late at night because I have siblings and they don't know how to be quiet. So I have to record in the dead of night, which is why I'm trying to be as quiet as I can while you guys can still hear me. And all that shuffling around is just me moving my hands because I talk with my hands a lot. And also, it's a different day. I'm wearing different clothes because, frankly, that takes a lot of time to do. And yes, I almost just started painting the red eye black. Gray. I sure know my colors. I'm actually not that bad at color theory. It's more of just words. I don't know how to word. Which is funny because I know how to speak at least a few sentences in a few languages. Portuguese, German, and Irish. I'm mostly stronger in Irish when it comes to a second language. Actually, scratch that. I only know a few words in Portuguese that I can remember, which is oi, which means hey, and como, which means eat. Sorry for mispronouncing that. Again, I haven't studied Portuguese in I think almost 2 years now. German I use much more often, like Hallo, Entschuldigung, Guten Tag, one more, Nein, Niet, and I thought there was one more, but I can't remember it, so obviously not. And my strongest language besides English is Irish, which my high school offers an Irish language class. And shout out to my Irish teacher. I'm not going to give their name and stuff like that, but they're amazing. They're my favorite teacher, and I love them. Now I hope that none of my other teachers find this because I don't want them to get upset that I'm saying that my Irish teacher is my favorite teacher. I was also going to make a video about me painting a shoe, but once I actually started that project, I realized that my ring light, which is what I'm using to record and what that stand is over there, isn't going to fit with both the shoe and the ring light without it being very awkward. So I'm just gonna do a few photos on Instagram probably and like a showcase of me wearing them, and that's probably it. I'm actually putting on the varnish on it now, which but the same varnish I use at the end of this video, which is just Mod Podge, because I use that on everything. Which also reminds me of that hot sauce commercial. I put that on everything with the old lady. That one always makes me laugh. Also, I should talk about how hard it is to figure out what to talk about with these, because there's not like there's that much eventful happening and you guys can see what's happening unless you're blind. Sorry if you're blind and looking for instructions on what's happening. It's too fast paced and I'm writing this on a script, so I can't do that. Or I haven't figured out how to do that, sync it together yet. I'm working on that though. But it's very hard to figure out what ideas to talk about. So I'm just saying what comes to my head, which is another thing as why it sounds like I don't know how to speak and don't know how to create functioning sentences. I know it's become a stereotype of hating how your voice sounds in recordings, but once you have to hear it over and over again, because every clip of audio that I do, I re-hear it to make sure it's okay before I move on. So having to hear my voice over and over again, especially when I hate it because of how high-pitched and annoying it sounds, because in my head it sounds very monotone and adultish, and when I hear it, it sounds like I'm a 5-year-old, and I hate it, because I hate feeling like a 5-year-old and being treated like a 5-year-old. I also hate growing up, too, so that doesn't help either. But despite this high-pitched voice and frankly my height being 5'4", I have still been told I have been scary, which I really like. I really like being told that I scare someone. Not unlike, oh my word, get away from me kind of thing, but just suddenly creep people out. I love that. I'm not sure why, but I just love it. The first time this happened was I was showing my friend how I cross my eyes because I taught myself how to do that at a young age. To like cross my eyes and do like weird things with my eyes. After seeing how in the 2012 version of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles their eyes disappear when they're fighting, which I thought was just for like an easier animation thing, but I still wanted to try and do it. So now I can do really weird stuff with my eyes. And I was showing my friend that, it creeped me out and said, "Don't do that, you're scary." And when I told you, I just had a smile on my face that you cannot get rid of for like the next hour. I am not lying. The next time this happened was on a half day, and we were hanging out in the school cafeteria waiting for the sign to be able to get on the buses. And this was a different friend, by the way. 3 people were actually there, and one of them that I don't know well tried to grab my plush bunny purse that is named Clay, that I have a very strong emotional attachment to, and without even realizing it, I just apparently gave him a dirty look that scared him enough to pull his hand away. Keep in mind, this guy's like at least half a foot taller than me, maybe more. Actually, now that I think about it, I think that guy's in my new science class. I'll have to see. If you're worried about how dirty my paint palette has been throughout this video, don't worry about it. I'm trying to collect as much paint as possible on it because I want the cleaning process to be so satisfying that it just washes away all my anxieties. It's probably not going to happen, but I can hope. Also, a little sneak peek as to what's to come. There's going to be definitely a Gravity Falls project, and possibly a Owl House project. I haven't decided, but I want to do something to celebrate the ending, even though I know it ended like 2 weeks ago. No, 9 days ago. I'm still sad that I had to end. All my comfort shows have either ended or are starting to end. I swear to goodness, if another one ends on me, I am going to cry. Good thing Husband Hotel and Helluva Boss still kind of just started. Not so much with Helluva Boss, but it's still in that range. I wonder how many people actually found this video and watched all the way to this point, because I'm a relatively new content creator, and the fact of anybody seeing this is low in itself, much less making it all the way to the end, where I'm just doing the touch-ups at this point. I'm surprised if you do get to the end, and if you are here, hello. I don't have anything to give you, but thank you for staying here for all the way to the end. Since you stayed all the way to the end, you must like the famous films, or the Invisible Davis at least. Also, this is the Varnish of Mod Podge. And if you do, who's your favorite character? I have 3 favorite characters: Brian, Molten Freddy, and Lefty. And here's the final product.